What a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being in love. There is a smile on my face for the whole human race. Why, it's almost like being in love. Oh, the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when the bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being in love. Oh, the music of life seems to be like a bell that is ringing for me. And from the way that I feel when that bell starts to peal, I could swear I was falling. I could swear I was falling. It's almost like being alone.
Wonderful stuff from David Serero, and hopefully David is on the other end of the line. Are you there, David?
Hello, how are you today?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
I'm very good. Very excited to be on your wonderful radio. Thank you so much.
That's absolutely our pleasure. Now, apart from anything else, David, I mean, you've performed hundreds of concerts all over the world, and wherever you go, people are saying magnificent and wonderful things about you. You've really sort of tapped into a sort of a zeitgeist, if you like. People are really enjoying the work that you're doing.
That's only because I have a lot of my family who come to my show.
Is that the secret, is it?
Yeah, that's the secret, and I actually pay them to write the reviews.
I think you're being too modest, sir. But it's interesting, isn't it? Because of course, I mean, your background is in opera and operetta, and you've worked on Broadway, you've worked in the West End, you've done concerts all over the world. I mean, is it about performing for you? Is it the sort of interaction with the live audience that you like?
Absolutely. I think you put it perfectly in words. The thing is, I don't come on stage to do what I call to press the play button. Which means it's the same show, no matter what happens in the audience, it's the same show. Of course, I have that when I sing an opera, when I sing a musical or Don Quixote from End of La Mancha that I did not a long time ago. But I always prepare myself almost like a boxer that gets into a ring. Is I prepare well, but then after it's almost the audience that tells me how the show must go. So if I push more into some opera, some Broadway musicals, some jazz, or if I add more comedy, or sometimes I improvise. Sometimes the show lasts 2 hours and a half, It's just, I always perform for the audience. That's very important. It's for myself, of course, but I mean, I give 200% of myself for the audience because I want them to have, when they leave the show, no matter how, I want them to say that they have a good time.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, if you're enjoying yourself and the audience are enjoying yourself, there is a vibe about that you just can't get anywhere else, is there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's, I grew up, of course, listening to opera singers, but I also mostly listen to these great entertainers like Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. These people who are just having a good time on stage. And it didn't feel like, because sometimes the singers, I used to put so much pressure on myself that the audience felt the pressure, And it took almost an hour, to start to lose it. But now when I get on stage, I always remember why do I get on stage.
Yes.
I go on stage because I'm passionate about people, and I love people from the bottom of my heart, and especially the people who are listening to your radio. and I want to give them 200% of myself, and I'm so blessed, you know, to be able to walk on stage. It's such an honor, and especially a greater honor to sing in Birmingham, and this is my very first concert, you know. And as you can hear, I'm already starting to get the Birmingham accent.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I can detect that straight away, David. You're working hard on that. David, what's your background? I mean, is your family musical, or was, how did you get into singing in the first place?
Well, you know, my parents are not at all musical into music. My mother is Jewish. My father is polygamous.
Yeah.
And my dad was sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
My dad is very funny.
Yeah.
And since I was a kid, I always wanted to be the center of the attention and to make laugh people and to help people. So this is why I give always charity concert. I mean, this tour that I'm doing in the UK, it's in the benefit of my own charity, which is myself. And but I always love to help people. But no, I didn't grow up in a musical family background, and I had to find myself. And I always said when I started to sing, I always wanted to stay the person that I am, not to be on stage an opera singer.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
I want people, when I sing, that they forget that I'm an opera singer. They forget that almost that I am a singer. You know, they're just forgetting everything. You know, when I do some acting job, I become the best actor when I forget about that there is an audience, that there is a camera. When you lose yourself, it's like you get into another dimension.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Now you're touring this time, but it's off the back of a new album as well, called the Broadway Baritone.
Yes.
And you recorded this with the Prague Philharmonic as well.
Yeah. It's like there were I think like 65 musicians. It was quite impressive, and we did all these great. Musical success from Les Miserables to The Phantom of the Opera, but also Beauty and the Beast, and also the old stuff like South Pacific, Roger Hammerstein, Camelot, My Fair Lady, Fiddler on the Roof, Men of La Mancha, Showboat, all these great musicals that actually, they call for this big orchestra, and it is so much powerful to have this great orchestra and to sing this great musical. And trust me, coming from the operatic world, it's not less difficult to sing Andrew Lloyd Webber than to sing Verdi. It is really, really the same. And I think when you sing opera, you do basically technique.
Yes.
It's very hard to put some emotion, because you need to stay in the standards. But the reason why I liked, of course, I recorded some cast album recording of other musicals where I'm playing the role, but this album was a solo album, so I wanted to approach the song in my own way, the way I felt it, almost that if I were my own stage director of The Voice.
Yes.
So I'm very, very excited of this album, and I have to say that it got amazing reviews, especially from my mother's side.
Well, I know that you've got a whole sort of plethora of fans out there, and some very many famous people. But of course, it's the people that come along, the people that buy the records, the people that come along to the shows and really enjoy what you do, and they enjoy the not just the singing, but it's a performance, isn't it? Because
absolutely.
It's an event.
Absolutely, it's like a one-man. I call it a one-man musical show because it's much more than a regular concert. Because first of all, of the variety of the styles that I'm singing some opera, but don't worry, I don't do the boring ones. I'm doing some Broadway musicals, some jazz, some French chanson, some American songs. In other words, what I like to say, it's a West End musical, but with a French budget.
That's what we like. Well, look, David, we could talk all afternoon, and it's been fabulous speaking to you. No, absolutely, it's been great talking to you. We wish you every success with the tour and with the album, and we look forward to welcoming you to the Midlands on May the 1st, down at the Glee Club. It will be our pleasure, sir. It's been great to talk to you. We're going to hear some more music from you. This is from Fiddler on the Roof. And this is
If I Were a Rich Man.
If I Were a Rich Man. David, you take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, sir.
Thank you, sir. To you as well. And God bless your radio and all your audience members. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Thank you, David. This is Fiddler on the Roof. This is David Serero.
If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, oh boy, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty-bitty rich, diddle-diddle-diddle-diddle-man, I'd build a big tall house with rooms by the dozen, right in the middle of the town. A fine tin roof with a real wooden floors below. There would be one long staircase just going up, and one even longer coming down, and one more leading nowhere, just for show. I'd fill my yard with chicks and turkeys and geese, and ducks for the town to see and hear, squawking just as noisily as they can. And each latte coo and a geek and cocorico will end like a tramping on the ear, as if to say he lives a wealthy man. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work hard. If I were a bitty-bitty rich, diddle-diddle-diddle-man, I see my love, my wife, looking like a rich man's wife with a proper double chin, supervising me to our heart's delight. I'd see her pulling on the airs and strutting like a peacock. Oh, what a happy mood she's in, screaming at the servants day and night. The most important man in town will come to phone on me. They will ask me to advise them, like Solomon the wise. If you please, Rabbi Serero, pardon me, Rabbi Serero, causing problems that will cross a rabbi's eyes. You're a boy, boy, you're a boy, boy. And it won't make one bit of difference if I answer right or wrong. When you reach that thing, you really know. If I were rich, I'd have the time that I like to sit in the synagogue and pray, and maybe was sit by the eastern wall, and I discussed the holy books with the learned men 7 hours every day. That would be the sweetest thing of all. If I were a rich man, all day long I'd biddy-biddy-bum. If I were a wealthy man, I would have to work hard. Lord, who made the lion and the lamb, you decreed I should be what I am. Would it spoil some vast eternal plan if I were a wealthy man?
David Serero, and If I Were a Rich Man.